can hear them. Not overhead as yet, but close. The sound of their search brings to mind a gathering storm, rumbling overhead. Like distant thunder. Hold on, Outback. Hold on. It's no use. At this rate of fuel loss, I fear he will be dead within hours.
Prime. Help me.
I had hoped that if we rested here, beneath the region of Cybertron known as the Dead End, my injured friend would have a chance to recover. Instead, he fades by the minute. I cannot let him die. And yet, my only chance of survival lies in doing just that. If I stay here, the Wreckers will find and kill me, believing I'm just a Decepticon designed to look like the real Prime. Megatron will have his final victory, even after I thought his threat was ended forever. And now, I am left with a dreadful choice. Abandon Outback and give myself a fighting chance, or sit here and wait for the end.
Looks pretty terminal, eh? Figured this would happen to me sooner or later, but somehow it doesn't make it any easier to live with. Don't let me die, Optimus, please.
I won't, Outback. I swear it.
Nice speech. Let's face facts. We're both already as good as dead. We've got away from the Wreckers twice now. Strike 3. We're out.
No, we must never abandon hope. Let me tell you of another time when all hope seemed lost, and yet, against all the odds, we triumphed. Imagine, Outback. Imagine. Imagine being forcibly torn from your own world and cast, screaming, into one where madness and chaos reign. A world where your own sanity is stretched to its limits and beyond. Imagine a world between worlds where the organic intermingles with living metal in a madcap jigsaw. Imagine your worst nightmare, and then some.
It's no good. There's too many of them. We knock them down and they just keep getting up again. Prime, you've got to let us use our blasters.
No! As Medical Officer Ratchet, you of all people should realize that Autobots kill only if there is no possible alternative. Prowl, how are you holding out?
Not too well. Ratchet's right. Nothing short of lethal force will stop them.
Can I give the order to kill? Every microcircuit of my being rebels at the idea. And yet, to save ourselves, it seems I must. I couldn't have known it at the time, but that decision was about to be taken out of my hands.
What happened? Where are we?
Yeah, 1 minute we're at our coal mine base on Earth, and the next we're not.
Questions which have, at present, no possible answer, and statements that are so circuit-numbingly obvious are wasteful in the extreme. We have clearly been transported by persons unknown to what is quite possibly another planet or dimension. And until we know for what reason...
Hey! Shockwave, look! I can hardly believe it. Autobot scum! Here!
It's getting worse. I've no option but to... What? Who?
Decepticons! Annihilate these abominations!
Oh no. Before we could stop them, 3 killing machines went into action. Frenzied sonic power cut a sway through the creatures, killing 10 or more instantly. And while Thundercracker's firepower accounted for many more, Shockwave took to the air, transforming to Space Gun mode, and effectively ended what little resistance there had been. The resultant Charnel House assaulted my senses like a battering ram.
How could you? These creatures fought with tooth and claw, and you met them with lasers and blasters and sonics. I suppose that's a Decepticon's idea of a fair fight. All this loss of life, such a waste. Such a terrible, terrible waste.
Hey, for once I agree with an Autobot. I wasted almost 2 centiliters of fuel on those slime balls.
Frenzy. Shut up! How dare you casually joke about the carnage you have caused? I will...
Stop! Our personal battles must wait. Logic dictates that if we are to escape this place, we must work together.
Oh. Well, perhaps your logic is open to question. Why should I wish to ally myself with murderers?
That is emotion speaking, Prime. You know I speak the truth. Tell me what you know of this place, and together we can devise a means to return to Earth.
This doesn't sit easily with me, but very well.
And so I told them of the Chlorine. A peaceful race driven from their home by invaders, bent only on conquest and destruction. Of our arrival in our world, and the subsequent meeting with the survivors. Of how they begged us for aid, and how, ultimately, we could not refuse them. Of how we halted the invaders' march into neighboring territories, thereby incurring the wrath of their leader, Zenag. Of Zenag's subsequent offer, allow his army to continue, unhindered, and the device that could return us to Earth would be ours.
And of course you refused. How pathetically predictable. We owe these creatures nothing, Prime, and if you will not deal with this Zenag, then I will.
No! It is not just a sense of responsibility that prevents me dealing with Zenag. He is evil, deceitful. He cannot be trusted. In that, he is much like you.
That's when it hit me. With much to occupy my thoughts, I had missed the similarities, the coincidences. But before I could voice my suspicions...
Ha! Zenag will not dare to betray me. Stand aside, Optimus Prime, or die. Frenzy, Thundercracker, transform! Let us leave these fools to their fate.
I don't know what happened next, but I can guess. The bait was dangled and accepted.
Tactical analysis.
Looks like a diversionary run. Probably meant to draw our attention from a secondary strike. Suggest audio shutdown. Too late, Prime. Too late for all of you. I got him, Shockwave. I got him!
So it would seem, Frenzy. Cease broadcasting. Their neural circuits should be little more than spare parts by now.
Looks like that device is as good as ours. Who'd have thought it'd be this easy?
Quite. Any last words, Autobot?
Yeah. Ever been had?
Heck! Disengaging audio filters. You second-guess the Decepticon's little scheme exactly, Prime. What now?
Now, we stop fighting.
We do?
Shockwave, listen to me. If nothing else, hear the logic in what I am about to tell you. It is my belief that we are somehow being mentally manipulated, forced into situations where our natural reaction is to fight. When we first arrived here, we were confronted by a peace-loving race, attacked by remorseless killers who threatened to spread their tyranny to neighboring territories. Does this, perhaps, sound familiar? Cast the Autobots as the Cloran, the Decepticons as the invaders, Cybertron as the homeworld, and Earth as the neighboring territory, and you have a carbon copy of our war. It's all far too neat, far too perfect. Just give me enough time to put my theory to the test.
No! Destroy them, Shockwave. Destroy them now, or I swear you will never see Earth again.
No! We are not your slaves. If you are so mighty, Zenag, destroy them yourself. Well, here I am, unarmed, defenseless. I will make no move to fight back. So kill me.
What's Prime playing at? That creature looks as though it could tear him apart.
Yeah, but let him play his hand. We owe it to him not to interfere, unless it's absolutely necessary.
Very well, Autobots. Watch. Watch as I destroy Optimus Prime! And what of you Decepticon cowards? Will you sit idly by and watch me do what you could not? I give you one last chance. Kill him yourself, and the device is yours.
What you say is illogical. Prime is at your mercy. You do not need us. Carry on. Kill him.
Yeah, kill him!
Imbeciles! Fight back! Curse you! Fight back! Is your conceit such that you're willing to sacrifice yourself and your fellow Autobots only to prove yourself wrong? Where is your sense of responsibility now, Prime? Do you dare risk being wrong?
Do I? If I die, I'll have sentenced my fellow Autobots to the same fate. It would be so easy to turn and fight. But isn't that the point? It is easy to fight, but then the easy path isn't always the right one. These years of warfare have conspired to blind me to the alternatives. As an Autobot, no, as a thinking being, to fight must be the last alternative. Do your worst, Zenag.
Curse you!
What the? He vanished! What is happening? Where am I? Ah! What's going on? 1 minute we're in some weird dimension, the next we're in another. What's this? This thing! It was attached to me, attached to my head! I'll tear it apart with my bare hands!
You'll do nothing of the sort, Frenzy. I suspect that to strike that creature would merely start this whole nightmare off again.
A Decepticon advocating a policy of nonviolence. Surely a moment for the history tapes.
You know as well as I. This time it's the logical course of action.
Perhaps. Ratchet,
Would you care to venture a theory as to the nature of these creatures?
Well, at a guess, I'd say that this was some sort of parasite, feeding off frenetic mental activity, off emotion, if you like. In particular, it would seem to be violent emotion.
Ratchet went on to hypothesize on the creature's origin and how they fashioned an illusion in each mind, tailor-made to provoke the optimum violent reaction. When he compared their love of violence to a Decepticon philosophy, Shockwave, Thundercracker, and Frenzy saw fit to depart. But something Ratchet hadn't realized was what followed on, logically, from his theory.
Brian, are you alright?
Thankfully, yes. Though I agree with all you have said, I think there's more. I believe that the creatures, given enough time and enough violent emotion, could have fashioned a reality from illusion.
Your side? You mean...
Yes. We were this close.
Wow. You mean if you left it just a little longer before you stopped fighting, Zenag could have killed you?
Indeed.
What began as a story told to revive flagging spirits has perhaps shown me the course of action I must take if we are to survive.
Hey, finish the story. How'd you get out of that dimension?
Well, when the future Decepticon, Galvatron, and his henchmen returned to their own time, we were simultaneously returned to Earth.
What? This is it, Optimus!
It's over, Decepticon. The Wreckers have found you.
And this time there's nowhere to run. You're dead.
Well?
Well, what? I certainly don't intend to beg for my life. Rather, I will beg for the life of this truly heroic Autobot. I had thought that my death would grant Megatron his greatest victory. Not so. I fought back against my fellow Autobots. I dragged this innocent victim into my personal war. That is Megatron's greatest victory. I almost missed the wisdom of my own words when I told Outback that to fight should be the last resort. I will fight you no longer, Wreckers. All I ask is that you spare Outback. If, as a result of my death, just one Autobot life is saved, then it will not have been without meaning. The real victory will be mine.
I understand now.
Who?
You were right to summon me, Ultra Magnus.
Voicing your suspicions may just prove to be the saving grace of us all. By the spires of Iacon, Emirate Xaaron, you live! Praise the Matrix!
I have listened carefully to your little speech, Decepticon, and I have just one thing to say.
Optimus, welcome home, my friend.